Hey everybody, welcome to JLB Sports TV. I am Justin Block, and today Liverpool drew 0-0 at Anfield against Stoke, which was more kind of like a rugby match than an actual football match. From the outset, you knew that Stoke was going to come in, having, I believe, only won 3 of their previous 17 matches and never actually ever winning at Anfield. They were going to come in and try to only fight for a point, and they'd be lucky to get a point at that. And given Stoke's style, and given that we all know how Stoke plays, it was going to be a rough match. There were going to be fouls, there were going to be tackles, and they were going to try to disrupt the flow of the game, Liverpool's pass and move philosophy, as much as possible. And they did exactly just that. Within the first half alone, Stoke had committed 12 fouls total. By comparison, against Norwich last week, Norwich only committed 11 fouls total against Liverpool. So this is a side that was going to go out and tackle anything that moved, as long as Liverpool couldn't advance the ball onto goal. I thought the referee Lee Mason did a pretty terrible job in the first half in terms of keeping the flow of the game moving. He wasn't issuing as many yellow cards as he should have been. I think if he had, I think that would have sort of got the flow going back and brought the game a little bit under control. But in the first half, Lee Mason was terrible, didn't award enough bookings, and Stoke basically were able to foul every single player they wanted to without any consequence at all. In the second half, that cleaned up. There weren't as many fouls going, but by the end of the match, Stoke had the same amount of yellow cards given as shots, 6 and 6. And again, for Liverpool, this was another match where they dominated possession, dominated the shots, dominated the passes. It gets sickening at a certain point because Liverpool have been doing this for over a year, where they just dominated basically every facet of the game and every vital sign or stat that you want to point to and say, that's one of the reasons why a team wins. Liverpool will dominate that area, and they just have not been able to get the 3 points. Reading stats from the account at Anfield Index, a great Twitter account. You should follow it for Liverpool stats. Liverpool dominated possession 63-37. They had 424 passes compared to Stoke's 290. Their accuracy passing was 81% to 66%. Final third passes, 206 got off for Liverpool compared to Stoke's 96. And a total of 18 shots. 18 shots, no goals. And, it's painful to say that this was another typical Liverpool performance, but in fact it was. It's worth noting that although Steven Gerrard was the team's highest passer today, and he passed the ball the most, his passing accuracy was a pretty poor 73%. He created a couple of good chances, one for Glenn Johnson especially, on a beautiful diagonal ball that he should have put away. And, those are the kinds of games that Steven Gerrard will have, where his passing overall won't be very consistent, won't be very good, but he'll create that little bit of magic that another player should get on the end and score, and everything's forgiven, basically. I just want to say I thought Andre Wisdom did particularly well at right back, another good performance from the young right back. I think we'll see that for the rest of the season, basically, unless something happens or unless Enrique somehow gets back on the side. We'll see Glenn Johnson at left back and Wisdom at right back. Tactically in the midfield triangle, which is an area I like to look at every week, Sahin and Gerrard were both pushing forward while Joe Allen was sort of sitting back. So Liverpool were playing a very offensive formation today. It's a shame they didn't get the goal. I just wanted to also bring up that I thought Brendan Rodgers' substitutions were a bit curious. I understand wanting to make a substitution in the 60th, 70th minute mark, get new faces on the field, fresh legs, but why did he take off Sahin? All right, I understand you traded a midfielder for somebody that you want to put on to get the ball in to score, but why take out Sahin for Joe Cole? This is his first time back in the side in God knows how many months, and why not put on Barini? I don't know. When you're chasing a goal, why you don't put on a striker? And I don't know why Joe Cole is that option. And even then, if you do want to put on a winger, you want to put on a more offensively minded midfielder, why not put in Asaidi first and then Barini? Asaidi eventually came on, but I just don't understand why Fabio Barini didn't come in the side today. I know he's been under fire, he hasn't been doing his best, but the fact is he's still a striker. And he's the only other striker that Liverpool have besides Suarez. So for me today, I thought Liverpool lost this game. This 1 point, this result is not good enough. Liverpool have yet to win at Anfield. They have 6 points from 7 games. Not good enough right now. Obviously, I'm keeping the faith, being optimistic. But these are the kinds of games that Liverpool have to win, especially at home against small opponents and against opponents that have no intention of playing an actual football match. They're just trying to come in, boss you around, knock you around a bit, and hopefully they'll escape with a point. And that's exactly what Stoke did today. Stoke's plan was just come in and get a point. Liverpool's plan was to win. Stoke achieved their goal. Liverpool fell far flat, and they did not. Although you could say, Stoke disrupted the game, they didn't allow them to play it. Well, that's exactly what Stoke wanted to do, and shame on Liverpool for not rising up and playing beyond Stoke. They played right into Stoke's hand today, and for me, that was a very overall poor performance, and actually probably one of the worst performances Liverpool have turned in the Premier League this season. Liverpool have Reading next week, so again, that's another match that you expect Liverpool to win. They have a good run of games in until they face Everton. Let's try to get maximum points out of these games. So that's all for today with JLB Sports TV. I'm Justin Block. Give me your thoughts down below. Sorry if my voice is a little hoarse today. I went to a Jay-Z concert last night, so I'm going to need a couple days to recover. YNWA guys, have a great week.
And Luis Suarez was ultimately rewarded with a great hat trick. It's fair to say Luis Suarez has Norwich's number by now. He had a hat trick at the end of last season, another hat trick now. Spectacular goals.